And we are live. Welcome, everyone. My name is Niki Lopez of Niki Lopez Creative, and you're watching The Circle, where every first and third Tuesday of the month, I'm talking to artists, activists, social entrepreneurs, people doing great things in the world today. And I have the pleasure of having a special guest and friend, Dr. Réquel Lopes, AP. Thank you for being here with us today.
I am so excited. I love your show. I watch it often. So to be able to be on it, oh my God.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I appreciate that so much. And I'm just so grateful to have you on again. Initially, you were here as a director of World's AIDS Museum, but now you're in full force with Dragonfly Wellness. And I was just like, we definitely have to have you back on here and share some of the amazing work you do. So thank you so much. We are live. So we're live in a couple of places. We're live on Facebook under Niki Lopez Creative and the Circle group. We're also live on LinkedIn and YouTube and Twitter. And then also you could catch the replay either on any of those channels or on the podcast. So after a couple of weeks or so, the audio will be there and you could find it on any Apple iTunes, Spotify, all those things. So,
girl, you're everywhere, people.
Yes,
you have
absolutely.
all these choices.
Absolutely. So we're going to dive in, and I'm going to start with a little bio because I just love it. So, Dr. Réquel Lopes is the Wizard of Wellness, healing facilitator, and acupuncture physician. And I just can't wait to dive into some of these, some of the questions. So I'm just going to read a little bit. Dr. Réquel Lopes, AP, is the owner and healing practitioner at Dragonfly Wellness in Hollywood, Fort Lauderdale. She earned her graduate degree in acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine from the prestigious AOMA Graduate School of Integrative Medicine in Austin, Texas. She's a licensed acupuncture physician in the state of Florida and a board certified by the National Certification of Oriental Medicine, Diplomate of Oriental Medicine, NCCAOM. Ooh, that's a mouthful.
That's a mouthful, isn't it?
That's a mouthful, yes. She obtained her undergraduate degree at Barnard College of Columbia University in psychology. She's also a member of Florida State Oriental Medicine Association. Thank you for being here with us today.
Wow, that's humbling even to hear those things. But I will say that I'm in Oakland Park now, not in Hollywood. And that would be my typo if I sent that to you, and I apologize for that. But yeah, my practice office is in Oakland Park, Florida, the great city of Oakland Park. So I have really been there for about 7 years now and have watched the city of Oakland Park just flourish. And I'm lucky enough, not to give them a plug, but a shout out to Sis and Company, because I'm right across the street from them. So it's an alternative place for me to go and have a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, and some really good food. But, and so the community around me is really supportive of a lot of different community opportunities. So I'm just really blessed to be and grateful to be in a place like that. No offense to any other part of our fair city area of Fort Lauderdale, but I'm very happy to be where I am. Yeah.
Absolutely. We have someone who's been almost on all of the circles, Miss Sylvia Ames. Good evening, Niki and guests. Thank you so much. I always love, there's some people that pop in, pop out. Some people are just discovering this. We've been doing the circle since January 2018, but some people, it's just really nice that they're just a regular on here. And I just really appreciate that so much.
Yeah. Having regulars and people who support you is incredible. So shout out to Sylvia for being.
Absolutely. So just diving right in, I love Wizard of Wellness. So I wanted to just start there. What makes you the Wizard of Wellness and what inspired your journey into medicine and healing?
Sometimes you need to have something that's going to ask people some questions. And the Wizard of Wellness, having a background in sci-fi and enjoying a lot of the Harry Potter things, I thought, well, maybe what I would do is capture people's imagination by looking at what a wizard would be able to. And since I'm all about wellness and health and healing, that was a way of which to grab it, get people to go, oh, what is that? Let me ask her some questions. But let me back up a little bit and say that my journey to health is really about family and community, and a lot of the road that I took come from ancestors, come from my grandmother, or communities where, although we could go to doctors, we did a lot of our healing at home. And that could be a lot to do with the fact that food was plentiful and that food was important. We didn't go out to eat. I mean, I didn't even know what McDonald's, I knew what McDonald's was, but we never went to
Mm.
McDonald's. Our fast food was a place called Sam's Seafood. And growing up Catholic, we had fish on Fridays. Matter of fact, we had fish on Fridays every Friday. It wasn't just during Lent. It was like, oh, it's Friday, we have fish on Friday. So there was no specialty to that. But that's really all that I had. I grew up on Cape Cod, which is a coastal community that had a lot of Cape Verdeans, which is what my part of my heritage is. And Cape Verdeans came from islands off the coast of Africa,
Mm.
and they were whalers. So my great grandfather was a whaler. And at the time, whaling was an industry. And of course, now we realize that that wasn't the best thing. But at the time, he was a whaler. He worked on a ship and he came over to New Bedford, where my family settled, and he met my great grandmother. And so from there, they moved to Cape Cod. And during that time, cranberries and cranberry farming in the bogs were really how migrant workers really worked. And so my father's side of the family is really hardworking and have come up from the sea and from working the land in ways that really give me a lot of strength and fortitude to really go, okay. And then my mother's side is all about education. And so my grandmother got herself into Tuskegee and went through that, and ended up being an educator in Cape Cod. So my mother and father were in high school together
Mm.
on in Falmouth, and so she taught me the importance of education, as well as the importance of not taking um, what people put in front of you as the only option.
Mm.
She was up for being a superintendent or a principal for a school, and they didn't give it to her because of the color of her skin. And so she fought it in ways that you didn't fight back then.
Mhm.
And it was really important for us as children to really see the strength of our grandparents, to show us that whatever is in front of you doesn't mean that's what you need to take. And so I take that to heart a lot of times through my beginnings going to Barnard College in New York during the HIV/AIDS crisis, and really in 1985. Yeah, I just aged myself, but that's okay. Age is beauty, beauty is age.
Mm.
Um, but it's really, and having it be that it was, you know, Columbia University is in Harlem, and a lot of people call it Morningside Heights and all of that, but it's really Harlem. And so being in the middle of Harlem during such a pandemic, in the beginnings of it, and watching how it devastated the Black community, really, I think, sent me on a journey of public health, of activism, and having to be able to be a voice for people around health issues. So it's always really been about health. It's really about empowering people to be able to speak for themselves, and to not let people tell them what is.
Mm,
Like, ask questions. There's nothing wrong with questions. People have allowed questioning to be a problem. They're like, no, just ask a question. You're
mm,
just asking a question. If you don't understand, ask a question. And so I've always been that kind of person. Keep being inquisitive.
mm,
And I think that's what it landed me in alternative medicine, because I was on the track to be a doctor, and I didn't want to do Western medicine. I didn't see, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but I just didn't see myself there. And so, after graduating 20 years later, I went into acupuncture school. Um, and I got into that because I thought there was an opportunity to do a really grassroots approach to healing that
mm,
allowed the body to help heal itself, with a little help along the way. And and from that, that's what I've been doing, is really trying to be a voice for people who needed it, and to provide them and empower them around their health in ways that they haven't seen
mm,
before. Yeah.
mm. Okay. Okay. Well, you kind of answered a little bit the second question, but I'll throw it out there anyway, just in case
Uh-huh.
there's anything we miss. But society focused so much on modern or traditional medicine. Why the focus on acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine?
Well, I think the focus for me is about, um, I think, ancient wisdom and community health. I mean, indigenous cultures always had a health system, and that some of the uh, pharmaceuticals or the medicine that we use are derivatives from plant-based medicine. And so I look at it as, if I'm going to help people, then let's look at alternatives to the way in which we do it, because not everybody can take the medicines that are out there. What are other alternatives for people to take? And I landed on acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine, as if that's not the only one, but that's the one that I landed on, because I felt at the time that it gave me an opportunity to really be frontline work. There was a group of people in China that did barefoot medicine, and this is what they did. They did acupuncture and herbal medicines throughout the countryside. And so for me, that's the kind of thing that I thought was something that we should be able to go back to, not necessarily the barefoot, but also looking at what are some of the things we can do to prevent people from getting to the point where they need certain medicines. What are the things that we can do to help people um, not get to the end stages? And so, to me, that's my niche. How do we do a frontline kind of work, so that if you have allergies, that we deal with the allergies now and not let it get to bronchitis or pneumonia? Now, if they're at that level, then of course I'm the first person to say, go take the medications that you need, but then come back so we can balance the body back out after taking the medications that really just deplete everything. It's a broad spectrum antibiotic, so it's going to pretty much take care of killing everything in your body. But we want to build that back up. And so, to me, integrating Eastern and Western approaches in the integrative approach is the way that I think that I like to practice medicine. I like to practice the types of wellness that I do with Dragonfly Wellness.
Hmm. Hmm. And I like that you address also, how they are integrated, because I think sometimes people feel like, oh, it's only traditional medicine or this one. And
Mm-hmm.
there, I've heard it from you, and I've heard it from other people who practice more holistic medicine, that they work hand in hand, and especially if something is like really, like, you have to get, something that has more
Mm-hmm.
of a, I guess, a shorter time span, or really have to
Right.
address it quickly.
Yeah.
So
I
mhm.
had a quick story, two quick stories.
Mhm.
I had a patient who was much like you were saying, really keen on only doing alternative medicines. And although I am the first person to say, let's try that approach first,
Mhm.
if we get to the point where it's not working, then we need to try other approaches. So this person was not keen on. They had COPD, and so that's a pulmonary disease in which you do need some pharmaceutical medication to kind of manage it after you've gotten to a certain point. Doesn't mean that you can't do uh, herbals, but they're going to take a lot longer and they may not give you the same benefits. And so it's a benefit cost analysis. What's going to give you the best health right now? And then how do we get your body back into balance? That's really the keys for me.
Mhm.
So if this is the result, if this is what I need to tell you, then I'm the first to tell you this is what we need to do. And I'm here to support you through that process, but I need you to take these tests. I need you to look at what's happening. And some people can take the truth and some people can't. I'm totally open to understand that some people don't want to do Western medicine, but I am the person who went to school who says that you got to tell the truth. And if you're not the right person, then you need to
Yeah.
allow them to get to the right people to prevent any uh, disease or any illness to get to a level that there's no hope, because I'm all about hope. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
What is something you feel the average person doesn't get about acupuncture or traditional medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, or the other services that you do?
Mhm. I think, part of it is I don't know that they really understand. We don't do a good enough job at education.
Mm.
All people can see is needles, and they think, "Oh, I don't want needles." But what they don't realize is that these needles are not what we're used to. We're
Mhm.
not those hypodermic needles are so much bigger. And so when people who come to me who have concerns about needles, I'll work with them. I will make them feel comfortable about it. And then we start slow. So, there are over 400 and something locations on the body that you can place an acupuncture needle or pins, because sometimes I call them then so that it takes away from saying that it's a needle.
Mhm.
But there's so many different places. I have my tools in my toolbox that I like to use. However, I'm completely open that if somebody says, that really doesn't feel good, then I'll use an alternative that can still do the same job, but feels more comfortable for the patient that I'm working with, because it's really about the comfort of the patient so that they feel comfortable to come back to me. If I'm hurting them, then why would you come back to me? Because you're already in pain. Why would you want to come to somebody who's going to give you more pain?
Mhm.
If it's going to be uncomfortable, then I'll let you know. But I'll also let you know that it's not going to last long. And so a lot of it is about communication and
Mhm.
really being upfront with people about what's going to happen at the time.
Mhm.
And so that goes with the acupuncture, that goes with breath work or conscious connected breathing, that goes with psyche facilitation. All of that is really to eliminate those triggers or those barriers, self limiting um, barriers that we have in our body, because it really starts there. So we have triggers that are really at a cellular level. And so anytime it happens, we may not know why we acted that way, but we know we can feel it viscerally in
Mhm.
our body. And so the three pillars and more that I do are really trying to help you get rid of those triggers that allow you not to either achieve what you want to do, whether that is emotional, whether that's physical, whether that's the potential you want to move forward in your life. How do we get rid of those things so that you can move forward?
Mhm. Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
Um, what? Oh, I see. We have a question. Oh, a comment. Sylvia, I've always believed in alternative and traditional medicine together. Such a great subject. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you. What is a
Thank you, Sylvia.
what is a healing facilitator?
I think that's just a person that can guide. It's a guide. It's
Mm-hmm.
a person that's going to really answer the questions for you. If you're going to come to me, my wheelhouse is acupuncture, breath work, and psyche facilitation. And all of that requires you to ask questions or for me to educate you on how that's going to be best for you. If there's food therapy, if there's different things that you need to stay away from, then I'm willing to have a conversation with you about that as well. I look at lab reports so that I can really help you through what the labs say. You know, it's always about everything is great if it's in the bell curve, as I call, in that range. But what does it mean if it's high range? What does it mean when it's low range? What are things that we can do to help support you so that it never goes out of range? Because that's when things happen. And so I like to really walk through people when they come to me to say, bring your labs in so we can really look at what's happening. But a lot of it is about observation. You
Mm-hmm.
come into me, your whole body says everything, whether it's from me in traditional Chinese medicine and acupuncture. We look at tongue, we look at what you look like, your complexion when you walk in, and then we take pulse. And so, pulse for us is not just looking for beats per minute. What we're really looking at is the quality. Is it, does it get soggy, like it just disappears when we touch it? Those all mean something to us. So, observational skills are really important. And then from those, I get to ask questions for you and to allow you to tell me, oh, how did you know that by just touching my pulse? It's because of the training that we have. Our training for those who are licensed is about 4 years of training. This is not a weekend course. This is learning the basic Western medical school first year and then taking it to a different level after that. And so we have clinical hours. We spend a lot of time working with our professors to be able to um, uh, diagnose and treat people for a variety of ailments that come before me. And then we specialize. And so there are people who specialize in pediatric acupuncture. That is not something that I do, but it is, there are people I can refer to if you have children who are dealing with digestive issues who can't sleep. And so I really pride myself on the referral basis that I have. If I can't do it, then I have people that I can refer to you to be able to assist you.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's really important, that you're able to refer and and share, like, hey, I can't help you, but it's not really, the focus is not just, oh, I need business. It's about really helping the person that comes into your door. And that's amazing.
Mhm.
Amazing.
Because about it, to me, it's about quality,
Mm-hmm.
not quantity. And there are people who will differ from me, but I'd rather deal with people and give them the best service I know how to on a one-to-one basis than to have people continually coming in and not really know who you are. Because part of the treatment is really knowing who you are, what's happening in your life, why you can't sleep, what's your home life about, what are you eating, what's the stress levels that you have. All of that really impacts your health. And so when you come to me, I ask a lot of questions,
Mm-hmm.
more so than you would think. But everything that I ask is really about finding the best treatment plan that's going to work for you specifically. And that's what I think I really want to get across with people, that it is really about quality and not quantity.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned a couple of times, and I know you do some breath work. How does breath work or breathing connect to what you do, or like the importance of it in
Mhm.
the type of practice that you have?
I really think that there that um, health really has a lot of different components. And as I said before, stress is one of those components that can affect you in so many different ways. And so you may think you have a debilitating disease, and yet it could be just the stress that you're under that could cause some of the physical ailments that you have.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what I really try to do is get people to see that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, a lot of that is through breath work or acupuncture or psyche, and they're the foundational. And so, if you come to me and in your first initial consultation, I'm going to really look at the picture to find what is the best treatment that's going to work for you for what you're coming to me for. Sometimes it's all three. Sometimes it's just acupuncture. And sometimes it's really that I have so much stress, I need to really release things. And so breath work is really good for that. And the one that I use is, and because there are a variety of different breathing opportunities and techniques out there, the one that I specifically use is called conscious connected breathing, and it's a circular breathing. And so you're breathing in and out with no pause in between. And what that really helps is that it helps to really offset the autonomic and parasympathetic nervous system. So it's the fight or flight or the relaxation mode. And so one of the techniques that I really impart on my patients is a 20 connected breath um, technique where when you have anxiety or you're in an emotional state, that you try the 20 connected breaths, which are, the circular breathing for 4, and then a deep breath for 5. And then you do that 4 times. And what happens is that whatever was going on, you've allowed space to be able to look at it in a different way. And so before it, you were with these barriers, you can't see a solution. And after it, you have the opportunity to have allowed some space to be able to see solutions that you may not have before. I'm not saying that all of a sudden, you have a euphoric Pollyannic kind of thing that happens. But what I will say is that your outlook on it changes. And that's what we're really trying to do is provide space. When you do it as a practice, and people come to me either as a group, so we do group sessions, group breath work on the beach. We do it once a month, and we typically do it around the full moon, although not always around the full moon, but really it's almost it's akin to prayer when you have a group or meditation, when you have a group of people where you're breathing together, that energy helps everybody else. And
Mm.
so you're no longer focused on the outward world, you're focused more on the internal world.
Mm-hmm.
And so whatever comes up, we always say is for the purposes of healing. And so what that looks like is that you say, I want love in my life. And then everything that comes up is everything that's in the way of love. Then that really says that what's happening is that you need to deal with these things before love can come to you.
Mm.
And we're not used to that. So we want to shove that down, push it down.
Mm.
And through breath work or through conscious connected breathing, we try to allow that to um, work through your body and work out. And so that it's not a mental exercise, it's a physical exercise. And so it's not necessarily that you're having the conscious mental chatter that you're doing. You're trying to work out that on a cellular level, what are those triggers and how to release it from your body.
Mm. Mm. I
You
definitely got to be contacting you for some of that breath work. I need it for sure. Um,
Oh,
yeah, so I guess we've kind of hinted on some of it, but I want to really spend a little time talking about your practice, Dragonfly Wellness, its mission, its service. Can you give us a little bit more of a elaboration of what you do over there at Dragonfly Wellness?
Absolutely. So I always call, yeah, I do call myself a wizard of wellness, but we really focus on wellness as more than disease or lack thereof. And
Mm,
for the space between disease and wellness, I call susceptibility. And so what I consider my mission is to really help people restore their wellness and to achieve what they consider their potential. And so, how I do that is what I consider my three pillars of services. That's acupuncture, that's breath work, and that's psyche facilitation to really make pain and stress in its many forms go away. And so, I always say whether you're a professional athlete or stay at home mom or somebody who's building their business or an entrepreneur, all of you impact the world, but you can only do it and you can only serve at your highest level if you're healthy. And
mhm,
so I ask people to think about coming to me so that I can help you with your highest potential. One, because I enjoy that quality time that I can help you with. And so I always say to people, my best way to referral is just tell somebody about me.
mhm,
Someone is tired of not getting the results that they're looking for and whose pain is still there and it's just not going away. You tried other opportunities. Why not try this as well?
mhm. Thank you. And what type of experience do you want people to walk away with when they come in and use some of your services?
Mhm. I want them to come away with a, a sense of relaxation and a sense of knowledge more than they came in. And I always say that my space is a space when you walk in, that there's a sense of calm and serenity. And it's almost like that saying, whatever happens here stays here.
Hmm.
And that's really true. And that it is a place where you can tell me and feel that there's an opportunity for trust to be able to work through whatever's happening because you may have a neck pain, but that neck pain could be the result of some stress in a relationship. It could be a result that you picked up a box and now your back hurts. So again, it's about feeling comfortable and being able to communicate. But I also want you to know that even when you leave, that you can always call me back up and ask me questions. That it doesn't just end at that appointment. Some of the effects of acupuncture or breath work don't just stop when you get off of the massage table or the table. They last longer. That some of those insights show up later during the week, and those are the things that we get to talk about in your next section.
Okay.
Mhm.
And what are some, because I know you offer some workshops, what are some of the workshops that you offer, and where can people find out more about that information, or when's the next one?
Well, right now, what I do is group breath work on the beach, and we do it monthly. Our next one is June 13th. It coincides around the full moon. But you can get that information from my website, which is uh, streaming around the bottom, or www.dragonflywell.com and Facebook or Instagram and LinkedIn. I usually keep them pretty up to date so that we are able to provide that information. If you are interested in being a part of the next group breathwork, you can go to my website and there is a place in which you can click to be a part of that. And it's invitation only, so it's a limited number of people who get to experience this at a time.
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking
Mhm.
forward to catching
Yeah.
one of them because I know the benefits of breath work, and I've been kind of getting into it over the past couple of years. But I definitely,
Mhm.
especially now, I feel like so like stressed with a lot of things, and I know that that would
Mhm.
be beneficial on so many levels.
And it'll help you with your swimming as well. Breath work
Yes.
helps with swimming.
Yeah.
But, we just had a breath work session, a group breath work last night, and we had about 15 people.
Okay.
And it was exactly the amount of people that can work, and we all get to sit around and eat really healthy food and drink water afterwards and watch the full moon. And some of people wanted to go swimming. So, if you come on June 13th, bring your swimsuit, because what an incredible experience it would be after breath work to be able to soak your body in the elixir of mother in the water.
Mm-hmm. That sounds amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever had to overcome any challenges connected to any of your identities as a business owner, like being black owned or women owned, or any of those things like that?
Mhm. I always think that when you think of an acupuncture physician, you don't really see me as a
Mm,
person. And an example even today was there in the complex that that I am. There was a woman who knocked on the door, who was I was suggested to for Chinese alternative medicine. And I'm not really sure who she thought was going to be on the other side of the door, but I don't think that she thought it would have been me,
mm,
because she was really flustered. And in those times when I was early in my career, I used to really get upset and annoyed. Um, but I also realized that people are people, and the only way in which I can combat some of that is, one, to stand my ground, and
mm,
two, to educate them
mm,
that whatever their preconceived notion of a person that would be doing anything has to be dismantled, because anybody can do anything at any time, at any and anywhere. And so what you think somebody should look like to be able to do that is ludicrous to me. And
mm,
so part of it is that you have to really be clear of who you are and be grounded in that. And nowadays I feel very comfortable that I am that person.
mm,
And, some people don't work for you, and I'm okay with that, because the people who are really going to work with me are going to stay with me. And those who don't won't. And I'm not looking for people who are not necessarily going to resonate with what I have to offer.
mhm.
I'm happy to refer them to other people, or they'll refer themselves somewhere else.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I know that you do a lot of different things in the community. Like I briefly kind of mentioned when you were with World's AIDS Museum. If you could share some of, like, some of the things that you do in the community or have been a part of, um,
Mhm.
yeah, over your time, over the years.
Wow, that's a lot.
Well, a couple of them,
A
a couple
lot.
of them.
A lot of my work has really been in public health and women's health issues and around HIV and AIDS. And so my history and domestic violence, because it all of those I have seen in my life, and I have seen the ramifications of all of them. So what I really like to do is be in support of those in need, and that don't feel as if they have a voice for themselves, and offer an opportunity um, to find ways in which they can be supported, or anybody can be supported. So I've done a lot of work around HIV. I used to be the executive director for the World AIDS Museum here, that really was dedicated to the history and the story of HIV from a worldwide view, from all cultures. And so we really brought exhibits in that talk to communities of color, that talk to different cultures and ethnicities. And it really spoke to people, and it brought in women who, for many, and back in the day, were the foundation for a lot of the things that were happening while the men and women were dying of HIV. And so being at that time, I was 17, 18, really being a buddy, really being a voice for people who were stigmatized, really set a foundation that I just couldn't tolerate things like that. What was I going to do to really help that? And I did the same thing in women's health issues, and also in domestic violence or abuse issues. So I've done work with the Smart Ride. For those people who know what that is, it is a bicycle ride that goes from Miami to Key West every year and raises money for um, many HIV service organizations throughout the state of Florida. And that to me, and feeds my soul because I'm giving back to
Mhm.
communities that really need it. And now now that I'm no longer with that, I get to open up to other opportunities to really give back in ways that I didn't have time for
Mhm.
before. And so I look to the future and think that I'll do some workshops on what is acupuncture in the community and how the communities of color, can really benefit from this type of healthcare that can help them through different uh, opportunities.
Mhm. And why is like going the extra mile, right? You're already a business owner running a business. Why is it important to you to also do other things in the community?
One, I want young people to see that there is success and
Mm,
that whatever is going on in their lives right now is not the end all be all. And there are opportunities and there are people out there who are willing to support them or help them uh, um, move forward. So that's one. It's the reach one, teach one.
mm,
I've always believed that I'm not the only one that can be successful without having all the people around me also successful. And
mm.
so if there's a way in which I can help them do that, then that's my mission. That's absolutely my mission.
Absolutely. And how do you balance it all? So you have your business, your ownership, your community initiatives, your home life. How do you balance all of that?
I know. Listen to this. I'm an introvert extrovert. So, what does that really mean for people who don't even understand those concepts that can work together?
Yes.
When I'm out and I am on and I can have conversations. But when I need my downtime and I come home, I enjoy my home. I enjoy my wife. I enjoy traveling. I enjoy going to the beach. I enjoy being able to turn off the phone when I can.
Mm,
And so that sometimes it's really important to unplug and really just go and regroup. And so, for instance, I yesterday had a self-care day.
mm,
And it was the most luxurious and well needed day. Sometimes you just have to take those days,
mhm,
or those moments to really restore yourself so that you can be able to help others. So I don't call it selfish to take care of myself. I
mhm.
call it a way in which to be able to give back in a fuller manner. Is that when you're able to take? So it's like self care is the best care.
Mhm.
You know,
Absolutely.
that's my motto, and so it has to start somewhere, and it has to start with me so that I can show other people how that's an opportunity that they too need to take.
Mhm.
Mhm.
What's one thing that people may not know about you that you're comfortable sharing?
Mm. I'm glad you put that in there because that's important.
Yes, yes. Because some people are like, oh my God. I'm like, whatever you want to share.
um, I love traveling,
Mm.
and on my honeymoon, we went to Bimini and swam with wild dolphins.
Ooh.
And I can tell you that was the most, that's a bucket list. If you can ever go, and it's a outfit that really respects wildlife and respects the dolphins. They're
Mhm.
not chasing dolphins, either they come or they don't. But to be able to be in a space in the water where they do come to you, it's just it's it's indescribable. So yeah, I love the ocean, and I love to travel. And I love sci-fi. So if people know what this is, they'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Live long and prosper.
I don't know if you ever saw. I was a Trekkie, growing up, and I saw this documentary giving a little information, and he was actually saying that I guess he grew up Catholic, and he saw like there was one of the service he attended, and he looked back and he
Mhm.
saw them doing the sign, and it just stuck with.
Yeah, yeah. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I grew up Catholic, but I don't remember that sign. But hey, live long and prosper. And
Absolutely.
now all the iterations I've watched.
Mm-hmm.
Strange New World is a new one I'm doing. I saw Picard. I
Mm.
did Discovery, all of them.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm a Trekkie
Oh man.
from the '60s, '70s, from the beginning. Go Yahara!
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. I used to watch the old ones, and like, yeah, from the 60s, 70s, 80s. After the 90s, I kind of lost track.
Mhm.
So,
I was watching, and I'll end with this because I could go on forever, but especially about Star Trek. But Whoopi Goldberg really talked about how um, she was a sci-fi person,
mhm,
and she remembered not thinking that people like us could be on shows or could be out in space until she saw Uhura
mm,
and realized that her position as communications officer really meant that all communications from all life forms had to come through her. What power she had on that ship,
wow.
you
Hmm.
know.
Hmm.
So
What's the best way for people to connect with you?
email. So it's my first name, you can see it on the screen, Requel at dragonflywell.com. My phone number, my office number is 954 951 5982. And you can text me at that number as well. So either way, email or text, you will get a response from me.
Okay, well, I'll just
Yeah,
have.
because yeah, I have to say that I am a sole practitioner, which means I do it all. So
Mhm.
I will be answering the phones, I will be emailing you, and I will be returning whatever communication. So you will get right from the source.
Mm. Do you have any self-care practices?
I like to float. If anybody's gone to the float tanks, those
Ah.
deprivation places, I love that. It's a great way to allow your body to realign
Mhm.
because gravity puts a toll on us. And so I love those float tanks.
Mm.
Float float tanks all the way. I mean, I can go to the ocean, but you have the waves, but this one you just lay in and it's just incredible. So I definitely do that and I love to read. I love to read. So like, it can catch me on my balcony just reading a good book.
Mhm.
Sometimes fiction, sometimes nonfiction. Mostly nonfiction right now, but I love a good fiction.
Mhm.
Love a good fiction.
Mhm.
Any suggestions, people? I'm up for it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, that's I think that's definitely something I look forward to trying to get back into. I used to read a lot and I don't as much, but
You know what I learned? I used to think that I had to read a certain number of pages to feel like I have accomplished something. And
mhm,
what I'm learning now is I get through 2 or 3 pages and that I retain it. That
mhm,
is the way to do it because I could read through a book really fast. And did I retain it? Could I
yeah.
actually talk with you about the book? And so I let go of the feeling that I had to read a certain amount of pages by, and that made me feel accomplished. Like I read a couple of pages each time
Mhm,
whenever I can, and I get through the book.
mhm.
It may take a little longer, but I actually enjoy it better.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Breaking it down to the simplest form.
Exactly. Simplicity, people.
Yeah,
Simplicity.
yeah.
That's what we have to do. Keep it simple. I won't finish that phrase, but keep it simple.
I don't know what phrase you're talking about.
I know nobody does.
Oh man, Dr. Lopes, it was just so amazing to have you on here tonight and sharing all the stuff that you do. I follow you on
I
Instagram.
appreciate it. Yeah, thank you so much, Nikki. I mean, I value you. I'm grateful for you and all the work that you do in the community. You are incredible. And so this platform helps not only you, but helps all the people that you bring to it. And it's incredible. So thank you so much for this opportunity.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much. Oh, we have a comment here from Grecia. Thank you, Nikki, for hosting such a wonderful guest. Dr. Lope's voice is so soothing. Yeah, completely agree with her views on many beliefs of the ancient system of healing. Acupuncture cured my asthma and sciatica many years ago and allowed me to enjoy the life to its fullest. Suggest to give it a try. Highly recommended. Mm.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
It's
Yeah.
so true. It's so true. You have to give it a try. If everybody's giving other things a try, why
Mhm.
not give this a try? You know, why not try it? Why don't you try me?
Mhm.
That's a good thing, you know.
Yes, yes, yes. So, it's always a pleasure to have people on here to share what everybody's up to in the community. Um, you know, uh, it's just an honor of mine. I'm really grateful to most of the people that's been on here is people I actually know, I've done work with, and just like I'm so excited to share all the stuff that you're doing, that other people are doing here. And also like hoping to inspire and motivate other people who are watching. We have people watching live, we have people who catch the replay. And encouraging people who, if you're on watching live or if you're catching on the replay, to consider sharing this on your social spaces and your networks and an email blast. That's a really quick, easy, free way to get the information out to everyone and hopefully inspire other people to try dragonfly wellness, try traditional medicine, try there's a lot of good tips that was shared tonight. So I'm hoping that the people who support me and listen and follow along can share that to their spaces, their circles, so this information could get spread far and wide. So again, we're here the first and third Tuesday of the month. I do have to say, some of you who follow my work know I have like a couple of big projects. So sometimes we don't have a circle, but if you're on Instagram, if you're on Facebook, if you're on LinkedIn, I usually post when we have a guest. And again, you could look at any of those spaces and find the information there. Oh, we have Sylvia. Really enjoyed tonight's conversation. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvia.
So the circle is brought to you by Niki Lopez Creative, which I'm a creative advocate, and I do a lot of things in the community, as well as What's Your Elephant, which is a project that uses the arts to create safe spaces and address anything unspoken. So if you're interested in finding out more information on me, you could go to on the projects I do, what'syourelephant.org, or you could go to Linktree/Niki Lopez 19. Again, thank you so much, Dr. Lopes. Do you have any final closing words as we wrap
Self-care is the best care, people. And
up?
you 30 seconds to a minute, 5 minutes a day will change your life. If I
Absolutely.
could remember my roomie, I'd say something, but I can't. So, you know, self-care is the best care. And the
Absolutely.
most important person is you. Because
Mm.
you can't help other people unless you help yourself.
Hmm. Thank you so much. And thank you
Mhm.
to all who's watching live and to all who's going to watch it on the replay. I will see you again um, next month. Take care.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.